Welcome to the Shreveport Connection. By the way, if you don't know, my name is Tommy. I'm doing a Paul Heyman style. My name is Tommy. Well, Wrestlemania 32 kickoff pre-show open up from live from AT&T Stadium. By the way, all over ESPN and Sports Center all day long and what have you, but I didn't watch it. Any of the hype from Wrestlemania? Well, Renee Young welcomes us as we see many fans outside the stadium still entering. Why are they still entering the stadium? They should have already been in the stadium. Renee joined in by Hall of Famers Lita and Booker T. Renee sends out to Corey Graves, who was outside a bunch of rowdy fans. A big yes chant starts up as Graves hypes the crowd. Renee sends out to the social media lounge with Tom Phillips and Kathy Kelly. Yeah, she's the new person I was telling you about that was joining the WWE crew this weekend at Wrestlemania, attending her first Wrestlemania as an employee. Phillips plugs tonight's Wrestlemania hashtag. And Kathy says that we will have Paul Heyman in the lounge later for questions. Fans can submit questions with the hashtag Lesnar versus Lunatic hashtag. We go back to Graves, another group of fans chanting out his name. And I'll go straight. JoJo is backstage, but the Intercontinental Champion Kevin Owens, who cuts a promo on his opponents and says he's not worried about any of them. Booker says none of the participants in tonight's ladder match are a Kevin Owens. Lita says he must not have watched Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura at NXT TakeOver in Dallas on Friday. We get more hype for the match and a go-to video for AJ Styles versus Jericho, hyping the rest of the Wrestlemania, even with Lita and Booker going with the League of Nations over the New Day. But Booker says he believes in the power of positivity, changing his mind. More hype for the show, and off for the first match, U.S. title match, Ryback versus Kalisto. Mauro Ranallo, Jerry Lawler, Byron Saxton on commentary as U.S. champion. Kalisto makes his way out. Ryback was out next. We get formal ring introductions from Eden Styles. They meet in the middle of the ring for some taunting. Ryback tries to intimidate Kalisto, but Kalisto attacks. Ryback spikes him to the mat. Ryback picks him up again, but Kalisto fights him off with kicks and elbows. Ryback tosses Kalisto out of the ring. As we were trying to get the entire network, it wasn't coming on. It kept buffering the entire time. So those of you who have the network, well, we tried it on the PS3. Eventually, by the time that it came on, I put it on my computer, pulled it up. Well, Kalisto runs back into the ring with Ryback flooring him with a shoulder. Kalisto fights out of the corner, top rope bulldog for a 2 count. And then Ryback sends Kalisto to the floor, runs back in. Ryback goes to the floor. Kalisto stops Ryback coming back in and double knees from the apron. Ryback gets right up and slams Kalisto into the floor, then into the ring post. Ryback launches Kalisto into the barrier. Ryback presses Kalisto high, tosses him in the ring. We get the Goldberg chance for the second time. Ryback lifts Kalisto in high air and drops him to the mat. We go to a pay-per-view break. Back for the break, and Kalisto tries to make a comeback, but Ryback drops him for another 2 count. Ryback with a knee to the chest and holds it as the referee counts. Ryback then plays to the crowd as they boo him. Ryback with a tilt-the-world into a Michinoku driver for a 2 count. Kalisto ends up going up top, but Ryback climbs up and beats him with the forearms. Ryback goes for a suplex and lifts him high in the air as we see a lot of empty seats still to fill as they're still entering the arena. Ryback holds Kalisto for a minute and then drops him into the mat. Kalisto counters in mid-move for a 2 count. Ryback runs him over. Kalisto counters with a DDT for a close 2 count. Kalisto then kicks. Ryback is on his knees. Ryback misses the clothesline and takes a corkscrew for a close 2 count. Kalisto nails more kicks. Ryback powers up and slams Kalisto with a spine buster. His fans boo. Turnbuckle gets exposed by Ryback as Kalisto hangs on to it. Well, as Ryback drags him out of the corner, well, it's Kalisto pulling up the turnbuckle pad. Callisto ends up hitting the Salida del Sol on right back into the turnbuckle for the pinfall win. And the panel is back talking about the match that led us to the USA Network. We'll go to a break and come back. Graves has joined the panel now. They hype the Rock's appearance and send us back to the announcers. Next match, we got Lana, Naomi, Tamina, Emma, and Summer Rae versus Eva, Brie, Alicia, Paige, and Natalya. We go to Ring Divas. Total Divas music hits. And it's Brie, Paige, Alicia, Eva, and Natalya making their way out. They all pose on the apron before Naomi's music hits. Out she comes with Tamina, Emma, Summer, and Lana. Team Bad and Blonde is what they're called. Lawler acknowledges the long lines outside the AT&T Stadium, still trying to get into the arena. Sad they missed this match. Alicia and Summer starting things off. Alicia with strikes and kicks. Summer fights back with forearms. They trade counters and Summer counters a suplex with a DDT for a 2 count. Alicia drop kick and a tilt the world backbreaker for a 2 count. Tamina and Emma come in, and this brings all 10 divas into it for a face-off. The referee tries to split them up as we go to a break. Back from the break, Eva is being booed as Emma stares at her. They go at it, and Eva hits a scissors takedown. Eva with a snap suplex, and then another. She teases a tag to Paige, but doesn't, and hits Natalya with a hard tag. Natalya comes in, and Emma slaps her in the face. Emma takes Natalya to the corner and tags in Naomi. Naomi nails Natalya. Natalya fights back, but Naomi hits her. Rapid fire kicks and drops Natalya with a drop kick. Naomi misses in the corner as Natalya moved. Then slam Naomi and drop kicks her face into the drop kicks her in the face for a 2 count. Natalya tags in Paige for a pop. They hit a hard attack. Paige nails a Shining Wizard. Paige takes Naomi to the corner for a high knee. Naomi counters the move and nails knees to the face. Naomi charges with a crossbody but nails the ropes as Paige ducked. Emma tagged in and Paige kicked her. Emma catches Paige in a wheelbarrow suplex for a 2 count. Lana tags in for her official debut, and the crowd popped. She worked Paige over and hits a bicycle kick. Lana yells at Paige to toss Brie. Brie comes in, but the referee stops her. Lana mocks the yes chant and tags in Tamina. Tamina goes right for a pin on Paige. Tamina with a nice suplex for a 2 count. Tamina keeps Paige grounded. Tamina takes it to the corner and puts Paige on top. Paige fights her off. Naomi comes in and go for a double superplex, but Natalya comes over. They end up beating her up and sending her to the floor. Paige sends Tamina and Naomi to the floor. Paige hits a crossbody to the floor on Emma, Summer, and Naomi, and Tamina. Lana comes over to help them up. Tamina runs in and stops Paige from making a tag. Tamina takes Paige back to the corner, and in comes Emma. Emma slams Paige into another corner and unloads with kicks. Paige catches a kick and sends Emma's head into the bottom turnbuckle. Brie gets hot tag and unloads on Naomi. She decks Lana on the apron. Goes back to work on Naomi and hits the yes kicks as a fans chant. Brie goes on and hits the Bella Buster, but Lana breaks the pin. Natalya comes in and nails Lana. Tamina hits a Samoan drop on Natalya. Eva runs into Boots, runs into Booze and hits Slice Bed. Number 2 on Tamina. Eva blows a kiss as the fans boo. Eva turns around to a kick from Summer. Alicia takes Summer, but with a scissors kick. Emma with a gut wrench on Fox. Paige with a full fall-away slam on Emma. Naomi with a rear view on Paige. Brie drops Naomi and goes into Brie mode. Naomi blocks the running knee and hits a drop kick. Naomi nails a split-legged moonsault in the corner, but Brie gets her knees up. Brie goes up top and Lana runs over while the referee is distracted, pushing Brie off the top onto her neck. Naomi tries to get the win, but Brie applies the yes lock for the win. After the match, Tony D was celebrating the ring. Nikki Bella, in her wrestling gear, still wearing her neck brace, makes her way to the ring and joins in the celebration. They all pose and hoist Bree up in the air, but the camera cuts away and goes to the back to the panel. Panel talks about the Hell in a Cell match. We get another video for the match. We go to the ring, and this is where we catch it back. We're leading in the ring. There's a podium with something under a red cover. Presumably the new WWE's women's title belt. Lita talks about some of the great former women's champion, including her best friend, Trish Stratus. She says these women paved the way for the new division, the Divas. She says, we just saw 10 Divas show us what it means for a Diva to compete in the ring. And later tonight, we will see 3 women that are very instrumental in the next evolution of the Divas Revolution. Lita says they are more than Divas. They are WWE superstars. Lita says it's her honor to reveal that the winner of the Triple Threat match will be the winner of the first ever WWE Women's Championship, and then unveils the new championship belt. We'll go back to the panel, and we get the Usos versus the Dudley Boys. Match is up next. Bell ring. Usos are out to a pop. Pyro hits, and the Dudleys are out to a pop also. Bell rings, and they go at it. The Dudleys take quick control, and it comes down to Devon Dudley in control of Jimmy Uso. Devon beats Uso around and covers for a 1 count. Bubba Ray tags in and talks trash while he beats Uso around, yelling about Rikishi. Bubba works Uso around the ring and says he's going to take his time beating the hell out of Uso. Bubba pays tribute to the WWE Hall of Famer Stan Hansen, but Uso takes advantage and nails a super kick. Jey Uso gets the tag and nails an enziguri, then a Samoan drop. Uso's trunks pay tribute to Uncle Umaga. The Dudleys turn it around and hit the what's up headbutt. Bubba actually calls for the tables as the fans pop. Usos drop them with super kicks. Simultaneously, as the Dudleys take back control, they wait for the 3D, but the Usos take them out with more super kicks and cover Devon for the pin. After the match, Usos celebrate, but the Dudley Boys regroup and then lay the Usos out. They go under the ring and bring tables in, set the tables up, but take the double super kicks simultaneously. Fans boo as the Usos put the Dudleys on top of the table, then go up top. Fans are still booing as they hit supervised spikes through the tables. That does get a pop, and their music hits as we go to replays. Back for the panel, more of the Rock panel is hyping the Rock's appearance. As we see the announcers making their way to the ring to set up something as JBL gets a pop. We'll get a video package, and that's it for the pre-show. They're setting up for Wrestlemania. And he's joined in by Michael Cole and Byron Saxton. Ladder match will start. We go to the ring. Oh, there's some new competitors in this match. No, I take that back. No, Dolph Ziggler, The Miz, Sami Zayn, Stardust, Sin Cara, Zack Ryder versus Kevin Owens. No new competitors. There are in Battle Royal that I will talk about later on. By the way, Funaki is doing Japanese commentary. Intercontinental Champion Kevin Owens is out to a big pop. Owens yells that this is KO Mania, and we see the title hanging above the ring. Stardust was out also. Sami Zayn's music was out. Miz was out. Dolph was also out. Dolph was out first. I was hoping that he would win. I was cheering for him through the match. What have you. Bell rings, and Owens is immediately left in the ring as everyone goes for the ladders. Sami brings in one. They drop it. Trade blows in the middle of the ring. Ziggler with a ladder shot to Sami's back. Owens knocks Ziggler off the apron with a ladder. Sin Cara comes in, takes Owens out. Stardust slams Sin Cara off the ladder. Stardust goes for a suplex on Ryder on the ladder, but Ryder counters and hits a neckbreaker on the top of the ladder. Miz throws the ladder out and hits Sin Cara in the head. Miz puts up a ladder, but it gets pushed over. Sammy with a blue thunder bomb on Ziggler. Owens comes in and stops Sammy. They trade shots, and Owens hits a big back drop on the ladder, leaning on the ropes. Owens yells at Sammy and tells him to go back to NXT. Ryder with a Rough Rider on Owens. Fans pop as Ryder climbs the ladder. Ziggler meets him on the other side to fight. The ladder flip tips over, and they fall to the floor. Stardust climbs a ladder now. Sin Cara pushes it over and crossbody Stardust over the top with everyone else. Sammy stumbles to his feet, and as the fans do Olay chant, Sammy stands the ladder up, but chooses to dive through it. Hitting everyone on the floor, Sammy runs around the ring and nails a big DDT through the turnbuckle. On to Owens on the floor. Sammy gets a big pop and runs back in the ring, climbs the ladder. Sin Cara cuts him off and climbs up. Sammy tips the ladder over, but Sin Cara springboards himself off the top and onto the other superstars on the floor. Sin Cara is face down as fans chant, "Holy shit," as we get a replay. Ziggler puts Sammy to the floor and nails a big super kick. Ziggler goes back inside the ring. Stardust goes for a disaster kick, but Ziggler blocks it. More back and forth. Ziggler takes Stardust out. Then Sin Cara. Ryder goes for a Rough Rider, but Ziggler counters and drops him into a ladder. Ziggler cranks up and nails Sweet Chin Music on Ryder. Owens pushes it over and both connect with a super kick at the same time and go down. Stardust goes under the ring and pulls out another ladder that matches his gear with yellow polka dots. I had some kids come over. They were playing WWE 2K16. They said, "What the heck?" One guy even said, "Who's Dusty?" I had to explain to him because he's so young. He brings it into the ring and nails Ryder. Ziggler and Sin Cara and Sammy with it. Miz stops because he's doing the helicopter spin with it, wrap around his neck. Miz stops him and nails a skull crushing finale into the ladder. Owens runs over and slams Miz's neck onto his knees. Owens stands up the dusty ladder, but tosses it to the floor as the fans boo. Sammy runs in and unloads on Owens. Owens blocks a hell of a kick. Owens puts Sammy on the top of the ladder, then goes up top for the big rock splash and nails it. Owens, yep, he did it Guerrero style. Owens fights off with skull crushing finale and nails a pop-up powerbomb. Ryder hits Owens in the face with a ladder and climbs up top. But he's not close to the title. Ryder does the fist pump and nails a big elbow drop onto Miz from the top of the ladder. I was explaining to the kids, yes, that's his new finisher. And one kid said, "What?" Because he likes Ryder. Ryder climbs back up. That's a fan chant for him. Ziggler runs up the other side and fights him again. Ziggler brings Ryder to the mat first. Ziggler sells a leg injury, and Ryder also rolls to the floor for a referee to check on him. Ziggler gets back to his feet and goes to climb a ladder. Ziggler has to hop up the ladder on one leg. Owens pulls him off by the bad leg and turns it into a pop-up powerbomb in midair. Stardust with a Queen's crossbow on Owens. Sin Cara tosses Stardust to the apron and kicks him. Stardust falls on the ladder. That's bridge from apron to the fan barrier. And then Sin Cara climbs up the ladder for the title. Sammy grabs his foot, but gets kicked. Sin Cara climbs back up top. But here comes Sammy again. Sammy gets kicked to the mat. Sin Cara turns around and leaps off the ladder, crashing with a splash through Stardust and the bridge ladder. The ladder breaks in half. A holy shit chant breaks from the crowd, and the crowd's going crazy as we get replays of it. Owens climbs up, but Sammy meets him. They go at it on top of the ladder. Owens headbutts Sammy to the mat. Owens reaches for the title, but Sammy pulls him to the mat. Sammy with a big exploder suplex on the top of the ladder. Owen kicks out. Referee checks on him. Sammy climbs up for the title, but The Miz pushes the ladder over, and Sammy hits the top rope, then rolls to the floor. Miz climbs up as the fans boo. He sits on top of the ladder and smiles. He barely touches the title. Ryder comes from behind and pushes Miz to the mat. And while he's on the ladder, taking the title and becoming the new Intercontinental Champion, Zack Ryder is now your new Intercontinental Champion. Woo, woo, woo. You know it. After the win, Ryder's music hits as the fans pop. The fans are going crazy. He hits the mat to celebrate, and his fighter comes into the ring. Then we go to replays and come back to Ryder celebrating on the top of the ladder. We get a video package for the next match, AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. Well, the feed paused so long in this match. So much, that's why I'm having to do the dirt sheet report. Jericho got their upper hand early on as the fans do dueling chants. Styles comes right back and sends Jericho to the floor to regroup. Jericho shows frustration as the referee counts. Styles chases Jericho around the ring and back in. Styles drops Jericho, but Jericho comes back in with an arm drag. Styles comes back in with an arm drag of his own. Styles with a kick to the shoulder and a forearm. Jericho with chops. Styles sends Jericho back to the floor and stalls. Styles launches himself over the top, but Jericho drop kicks him in midair. Jericho slams AJ's face into the apron and drops a neck breaker on the second rope from the apron. Jericho comes back in and keeps control, keeping Styles grounded. Styles fights back and unloads, dropping Jericho. Styles with a running forearm to the jaw. Styles goes for a stomp, but Jericho rolls out of the way. Styles nails a drop kick, more back and forth action. Jericho rolls through and ends up getting the wall to Jericho applied in the middle of the ring. Styles was able to make it to the bottom rope to break the hold. Jericho runs into an elbow. Styles hits a phenomenon for the 2 count. Jericho gets crotched and hung up in the corner. AJ works him over and climbed up top. Jericho turns around and on the top and talk trash. They stand up and bring each other to the mat face first. Styles rolls Jericho up for a 2. Styles nails a Pele kick, but Jericho catches his foot and locks in the walls again. Styles gets close, but Jericho drags him back. Styles tries to reverse it, but Jericho fights him. Styles gets the Craft Crusher applied. So everybody's gotten their finisher so far, maybe. Jericho looks like he might tap out, but he elbows Jericho to the back of the head. We get a 2 count to break the Crusher. AJ with strikes. Styles goes for the Styles Clash, but Jericho blocks it and dumps AJ to the apron. AJ springboards for the phenomenal forearm, but has to roll through when Jericho ducks. Jericho nails the code breaker, but it's slow to make the pin. Styles kicks out at 2. Jericho argues with the referee. Jericho talks trash as AJ jumps up and fights back. Jericho kicks him in the gut. He calls for a Styles Clash as fans boo. Styles fights out of his own move as Jericho tries to put him in the Styles Clash. Well, he planted Jericho on his face for a 2 count. Styles counters another move with a Hurricane Rana. More back and forth on the mat. Styles finally nails a Styles Clash for a pop and gets a 2 count out of it. Surprise as AJ gets. They both get up, trade shots in the middle of the ring. Styles drops Jericho. Styles charges with a running forearm into boots. Jericho goes for a lion salt, but Styles gets his knees up. Styles goes to the apron. Springboards in with a 450 splash for a close 2 count. My mom was also watching the show. She thought Jericho won, but didn't. I told her, well, AJ is the face character. She's cheering for the bad guy. Well, AJ kept control and goes back to the apron. He got the crowd riled up to their feet. Jericho gets up and Styles springboards in with a forearm, but Jericho catches him in a card breaker for the win. After the match, Jericho makes his exit as we go to another break. We see various celebrities at ringside. Maria Menounos backstage with Intercontinental Champion Zack Ryder. He says, this isn't just the greatest moment of his career. In his career, it's the greatest moment in his life. He says his whole life has led up to this moment, and if he retired today, I thought he was saying if he died today, he would be happy. He would die a happy man. Ryder says he did it. He lived his dream. He does woo, 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 woo. You know it, and walks off. New Day versus League of Nations. Everybody knows that the League of Nations is going to win this match. And does. And this is how. There's a 20-foot tall box, a Bootio cereal box on the stage. We hear WWE Tag Team Champions Big E do the intro as the box tips over and a large piece of cereal, I call them bagels, come out. Because they're big as, they're about the size of bagels anyways. And the kids are saying, Bootio cereal? Yeah, I said, well, that's fake. There's a real box, the box that you order on WWE. There's a t-shirt in it. WWE shop. Well, they're apparently wearing gear inspired by Dragon Ball Z. They head to the ring for the non-title 3-on-3 match. But it's supposed to be handicap match 4-on-3. That's what they've been advertising. Well, I think it did end up as 3-on-3 because Wade Barrett did not get into any action until afterwards. Well, as you'll see what happens. Kofi Kingston starts off with Sheamus as they go at it. Kofi with a big shot off the top, off the ropes. Takes Sheamus in the corner. Big E is a big unicorn stampede. Zomber is next. Then Kofi, then back to E. Then Kofi comes back in with Big E whipping into Sheamus as Woods plays Francesca 2 on the outside. The trombone at ringside. Kofi keeps control of Sheamus as Woods tags in. Woods works Sheamus into the corner but gets dropped. Sheamus with a big slam and tags Rusev. Rusev stops and drops a running elbow for a 2 count. Del Rio comes in and takes Woods down for a 2 count. Del Rio keeps him grounded. Woods reaches for a tag, but Del Rio stops him and nails a tip-the-world backbreaker. Del Rio then shoves Big E off the apron, but Big E runs in, but the referee stops him, allowing Rusev and Sheamus to get cheap shots in. Del Rio with a running enziguri and a tag to Sheamus. Del Rio poses in the corner as fans boo. Rusev talks trash to Woods as Sheamus beats him on the apron with forearms. Sheamus with a rolling senton. Rusev tags back in, runs the ropes, and has a nice senton of his own. Rusev unloads on Woods in the corner and tags in Del Rio. Woods ends up dumping Del Rio over the top and to the floor. Barrett cheers Del Rio on. Sheamus tags in. Rusev takes out Big E on the floor with a huge kick. Woods drops Sheamus in the ring. Kofi gets a tag and comes in off the top rope on Sheamus. Kofi then unloaded on Sheamus and takes out Rusev, but he runs in. Kofi with a boom drop on both Sheamus and Rusev. As the fans rally for the New Day. Sheamus blocks Trouble in Paradise, but hangs on. Barrett ends up distracting the referee, allowing Rusev to kick Kofi and save Sheamus from a move. Big E eventually comes back in on the apron and tags himself in. He nails a belly-to-belly suplex on Sheamus. He then suplexes Rusev over the top, but he hangs on the apron. Big E then runs the ropes and takes out all League of Nations members except for Del Rio with a spear. Kofi holds Sheamus while Woods hits a big top rope stomp for a close 2 count. Del Rio with a backstabber on Woods. Kofi throws Del Rio to the floor and jumps on his feet. Del Rio ends up hitting a big stomp on Kofi while he was hanging off the apron. Tree of Woe. Woods is still fighting. He sends Rusev to the floor and rolls Sheamus up for a 2 count. Barrett then nails Woods with a bull hammer from the floor as the referee is distracted. Sheamus gets a pin on Woods for the win. That's all the action that Wade got in for that match. Well, League of Nations win the match. After the match, League of Nations celebrating the ring as we go to replays. Barrett takes the mic as fans boo. Barrett praises them and says there's no three-man team in the history that can mess with them. Well, cue surprising music by HBK. Shawn Michaels' music comes out, and he comes out with the Hall of Famer, the WWE Hall of Famer, to a big pop. Well, HBK has his wrist taped up. He's ready for action. He's in wrestling gear. The music, some more music hits, and out comes Hall of Famer Mick Foley. As the report says, Cactus Jack. The glass breaks, and out comes Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin in blue jeans, sneakers, and a Dallas 316 shirt. Former WWE Tag Team WWE champions march to the ring and make their way in for an impromptu match. The Legends face off with the League. New Day pulls Barrett to the floor. HBK mounts Del Rio in the corner. Foley unloads those Chambers in the corner. Austin and Rusev go at it. Rusev turns it around and Austin stomps a mud hole in the Legends in him. Foley hits Chambers with Mr. Sacco. Shawn Michaels then drops Del Rio with a sweet chin music. Austin gives Rusev middle fingers in the ring and then nails a stunner. The Legends want Barrett thrown in. He's thrown in by the New Day to take sweet chin music, a Sacco, and then a stunner. Austin's music hits and they start celebrating after tossing Barrett to the floor. Austin calls for the beers as the New Day music hits. They come in and dance, with the Legends, but the Legends aren't sure at it. Even Stone Cold starts a little dance. Foley and HBK warm up some and start dancing with the tag team champions. Austin looks like he's about to start dancing, but he hits Woods with a stunner instead. But that's it for the New Day. Austin calls for the beers. Has a feud with Cactus and HBK. So he throws HBK one, but he doesn't drink it. He opens it. He goes back outside the ring. Mick Foley opens one, goes outside the ring, hands it to a fan in the crowd in the front row. Austin looks like he's about to start dancing. Like I said. Well, I went skip. Austin gives them both. He gives himself a beer bath. He says, you know how he does. Pours them both on him. Asks for some more. Does it again on a different corner rope. Foley gives a beer to Noel Foley's boyfriend, supposedly Frank, the WWE clown at ringside, as the dirt sheet reporter said. As Austin makes his exit, as the celebration wraps up, as we go to a commercial break for a pay-per-view. Which is more hyping for the next match. No holds barred street fight. Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose. We go to the ring. Out first is Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman to a big pop. Eden does the formal announcing for the match as Heyman cuts her off and does his big introduction saying that this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Dean Ambrose is out to the next big pop. And, Paul Heyman's introduction for himself gets interrupted by the crowd joining in. My name is Paul Heyman. The crowd join in. Ambrose is wearing jeans and a t-shirt, leather jacket, and regular boots. He's ready to fight. Bell rings. Lesnar immediately takes Ambrose to the corner. Nails some thrust. Lesnar nails the first and second German suplex very quickly. Lesnar with a big knee in the corner. Lesnar with a third German, and fans are counting now. Fan chant for Suplex City as Lesnar goes to the floor, but Ambrose beats him with a kendo stick. Ambrose unloads with another kendo stick and beats Lesnar back into the ring. Ambrose unloads again, but Lesnar eats it. His knees and then delivers Germans for 4 and 5. Ambrose tumbles back to the floor and Lesnar follows. Lesnar keeps control and brings him back in. Lesnar has a kendo stick of his own, but he snaps it over his knee and tosses it out of the ring. Lesnar hits German suplex number 6. Ambrose gives a double thumbs up to the referee and falls over. Also a smile. Lesnar stomps on him in the corner. Lesnar with a regular suplex that the announcers count for some reason. Lesnar keeps control and nails German number 7. Ambrose gets up and slaps Lesnar, then stumbles back into the corner. Lesnar approaches and Ambrose unloads with forearms and kicks it into the other corner. Lesnar then just grabs him and hits German number 8. Lesnar grabs a kendo stick, as there were several kendo sticks, and puts it in between he and Ambrose, daring him to come get it. Ambrose calls for it and laughs before hitting Lesnar with a low blow to a pop. Ambrose unloads with a kendo stick. Lesnar rolls to the floor as he's hit like 5 times. Ambrose runs the ropes and dives out, sending Lesnar into the barrier. Ambrose goes under the ring and brings the chainsaw out. He cranks it up, but Lesnar stops him and hits a belly-to-belly suplex. Yeah, my mom was still involved in watching the match. It's like she doesn't know what type of match this was. Well, told her anything goes, and this is called a street fight. Well, Lesnar stops him and nails a belly-to-belly suplex on the floor. Ambrose nails Lesnar in the head with someone's tablet. That was sitting at the on the I think one of the announcers table. And then Ambrose with a steel chair over Lesnar's back. Lesnar goes into the ring. Ambrose follows and goes to the top with a chair. Lesnar then leaps on the top rope and launches Ambrose to the mat. Lesnar grabs the kendo stick but drops it and calls Ambrose a son of a bitch. Lesnar reaches out of the ring to grab Ambrose but gets a fire extinguisher sprays in his face. Ambrose comes back in and unloads with a chair, backing Lesnar into the corner and jabbing away with it. Ambrose places the chair on Lesnar and runs and drop kicks it into him. Ambrose keeps control and takes the chair back to the top for a big elbow drop. Well, my friend Robert had to leave. Unfortunately, his girlfriend called him. She was here for the first part of it. She was on board. She left. Apparently, she doesn't watch wrestling. Got bored and she left. So much for that. So he can watch my thing. I texted him the results of the rest of the pay-per-view himself, myself. Because there was so much feed stalling, it was 45 minutes past the hour, so it was like an hour, like 5.5 hours before it actually ended. Because I went to the results to find out what was going on, and yeah, it was like 30 minutes before the main event even started. Well, okay, back to the action. Ambrose placed the chair on Lesnar, runs and drop kicks him into it. Ambrose kept control. Keeps control and takes the chair back to the top for a big elbow drop. Lesnar kicked out at 2. Ambrose fills the ring with more steel chairs. He grabs one and swings it, but Lesnar ducked, nailing the 9th German suplex. Lesnar gets up as Heyman looks on. Lesnar goes for the F5 on top of the chairs, but Ambrose counters and turns it into a DDT on top of the chairs for a close to count. Fan chant, "This is awesome now," as Ambrose takes his shirt off and mocks Lesnar. He goes under the ring and grabs the barbed wire baseball bat from Mick Foley that Mick Foley gave him weeks ago. Ambrose brings the bat in, but Lesnar ducks and hits the 10th German suplex on the top of the chairs. Lesnar nails F5 on top of the chairs and covers for the win. As the announcers were saying, 13 total suplexes in the match. After the match, Heyman comes in and checks on Lesnar. Lesnar goes to the floor to recover as we go to replays. We come back and Lesnar sprays the rest of the fire extinguisher in the ring. He then chunks it away while Ambrose is sitting up. Lesnar and Heyman make their exit, and that's it for that. Backstage segment for the stickers. WWE Wrestlemania sponsor. Ric Flair and Zack Ryder are comparing woos when Dolph Ziggler appears and does it correctly. According to Flair, Ryder eats a Snickers and turns into Charlotte. We get a look back into the 2016 Hall of Fame ceremony from last night. Howard Finkel introduced the Hall of Famers and their families on the stage. They show Lita revealing first ever WWE Women's title earlier tonight before getting to a video package for the next match. Triple threat match for the women's title. Yeah, not Divas title anymore. It's women's title. Becky Lynch versus Sasha versus Charlotte. Out first is Becky. Then we see Lita in the ring holding the new title, which will be presented to the winner of this match. Sasha Banks is out next. It's the fans boo. Hall of Famer Snoop Dogg performing out with Raven Felix, who sings Sasha's theme song. Snoop starts rapping to introduce his cousin. Sasha Banks has out. She comes to a big pop. Snoop escorts her to the ring. Coleslaw tells us Sasha's gear is inspired by Eddie Guerrero, her hero. Purple confetti falls into the stadium as Snoop and Sasha head to the ringside. They stop and give each other love as Sasha hits the ring and Snoop heads back. Out next comes the last Divas champion, Charlotte, in a robe made out of pieces of her dad's that her dad wore at WrestleMania 32 in his retirement match against Shawn Michaels. Charlotte heads to the ring with Hall of Famer Ric Flair right behind her. Well, she stops to raise her arms as Pyro goes off behind her. Coleslaw confirms that the title will be retired tonight. Divas title, that is. Flair takes off the robe at ringside as we see crew members cleaning confetti up inside the ring area. Charlotte raises the title as we get formal ring introductions from Lillian Garcia. Fan chat, this is wrestling before the bell. Charlotte fights them both off to start the match. It comes down to Sasha and Becky going at it. Charlotte stops a pin. Sasha gets a close pin on Becky. More back and forth and pins. Becky runs into a big boot from Charlotte. Charlotte points at Sasha and fans pop as Becky rolls to the floor. Sasha ends up taking Charlotte down with a hurricanrana. Charlotte drops Sasha in the corner and thrusts her. Becky comes in and German suplexes Charlotte, but Sasha takes a pin for a 2 count. Sasha and Becky go at it. Becky with an arm drag, keeping Sasha grounded. Charlotte drags Sasha out of the ring with a wheelbarrow and slingshots her back into the ropes. Then to the floor. Becky takes Sasha out on the floor and brings her back in. Charlotte goes for a figure 4, but Becky kicks her off and hits more shots. Becky with an inverted DDT for a 2 count. Charlotte sells an arm injury. Becky goes to the corner, but Charlotte cuts her off and brings her to the mat for a rude awakening for a 2 count. Charlotte keeps control for another 2 count. Charlotte working on Becky's legs. Becky fights out of a figure 4, and in comes Sasha. Sasha with a shoulder thrust on Charlotte. She lays Charlotte across the middle rope and goes for the knees, but Becky runs over and sends Sasha to the floor hard. Charlotte moves out of the way and rolls Becky up for a 2 count. Becky ends up getting the disarmor applied, but Flair jumps on the apron to provide distraction. That's Ric Flair, but has no luck. It's a triple threat match, so anything goes. Flair hops back down as the referee checks on Charlotte. Sasha runs in and breaks the hold. Becky tosses Sasha back to the floor. Charlotte drives Becky's back into her knees. Charlotte applies a figure 4, but can't bridge it. Sasha goes off the top rope with an Eddie Guerrero frog splash on both of them and covers Charlotte for a close 2 count. Sasha catches Charlotte with double knees for a 2 count as Becky breaks up the pin. Becky with a big German on Sasha. More back and forth as Becky with a rock bottom on Charlotte, but Sasha breaks the pin. Sasha and Becky go at it. Becky with a roll up for a 2 count. Sasha with a double knees in the corner. Sasha plays to the crowd and gets a pop. Sasha runs the ropes with Becky, but leaps out onto Charlotte, onto the floor. Flair gets in Charlotte's face and woos at him. Becky dives out and takes just Rick down with a pop. Everyone is down as Charlotte puts herself pulls herself to the apron. She goes to the top, but nails a nice moonsault on Becky and Sasha. Charlotte is hyped as the fans give her applause. Fans chant, "This is wrestling," as we get several replays. Charlotte brings them both back in the ring. At the same time, it nails a natural selection, which is nothing but a double DDT. And covers Becky for a 2 count, and then tries on Sasha for a 2 count. Charlotte frustrated, she covers for more pin attempts. Flair is back on Rick is back on her feet. Charlotte sends Becky into the ring post. She goes to powerbomb Sasha, but Sasha counters and ends back on her shoulders in an electric chair position. Becky takes them both down with a missile drop kick from the top. Becky with a close 2 count on Charlotte. Becky with a disarmer on Charlotte. Sasha breaks the pin attempt, then nails the backstatement on Becky. Charlotte applies the figure 4 on Sasha, and Becky goes to the floor. Sasha fights out and reverses the figure 4. Charlotte brings it into the figure 8, but Becky pulls Sasha from the floor and breaks the hold. Charlotte chops each opponent while all three are on their knees now. Sasha and Becky unload and both hammer away on Charlotte. They end up getting back to their feet, and Charlotte spears Sasha. Becky takes Charlotte to the corner for thrust. Becky takes Charlotte to the top, but Charlotte fights her. Sasha comes over and pushes Becky to the mat. Sasha beats on Charlotte on the top turnbuckle. Becky kicks Charlotte's feet out, and she's hung upside down with a tree of woe. Becky nails a big superplex on Charlotte. Sasha ends up hitting the backstabber and backstatement on Becky again. Charlotte sends Sasha to the floor as the fans boo. Charlotte applies the figure 4, bridges it in on Becky for the figure 8 as Sasha is trying to get back in, but Becky taps out for the win while Ric Flair is holding Sasha from getting back in. After the match, Charlotte's music hits and raises her brand new title in the air and gets emotional. We go to replays. We come back to the Flairs leaving. Charlotte stops on the ramp, raises the title as Pyro goes off. It was outside of AT&T Stadium. Pyro going off all around the stadium. Coleslaw says this is a new era. We get a video package. Hell in a Cell is lowered around the ring. Shane McMahon was out first to a big pop. He's joined by his three sons. They're wearing Shane O'Mac jerseys too. They head to the ring, and he has together as confetti and fake money drops. Shane stops to hand them over to the bear to his family, being his wife. He gets a good luck kiss from his wife before entering the cell. The lights go out, and Undertaker's grand entrance begins. 5 or 6 minutes he takes coming to the ring. Taker stares Shane down and enters the cell and shuts the door. If the stipulation is a match, if Shane wins, he gets control of Raw. Taker loses, he will never wrestle another WrestleMania. Shane bounces all around the ring to size Taker up. Shane ducks a right hand from Undertaker and nails body shots in the corner. Shane backs off. Taker comes back ready to fight. Shane is still moving around the ring. He tries for a punch and a kick. Taker with a knee to the gut and a right hand to drop Shane. Taker takes Shane to the corner now. Shane fights back. But Taker's blows are bigger. Taker then tosses Shane out to the floor. They come back in, and Shane nails lefts and rights in the corner. Taker drops him with one strike and then stomps. Taker whips Shane into the corner and drops him with snake eyes. Shane comes right back with a flying elbow, but Taker sits right back up, and Shane is down. Taker stomps and kicks Shane to the floor, sends him into the steel. Shane ends up back in the ring while Taker takes the steel steps apart. They end up back on the floor. Taker rocks Shane after another shot into the steel. Taker positions Shane on the apron and hits the signature apron leg drop. Taker brings it back in the ring, goes for the last ride. He nails it and covers, but Shane kicks out of 2. Taker brings half of the steel steps in the ring. Taker goes over, but Shane pulls him with a triangle choke. One arm, not both arms, to hold him down. Taker starts fading out and foaming at the mouth, but the hold is broken. He's even red-faced. Shane keeps up the fight on the Undertaker, but he grabs him out of nowhere for a chokeslam on top of the steps. Taker with a 2 count on top of the steps. Taker goes for the elbow on the steps, but Shane moves out of the way. Shane sits on the steps and tells Taker to bring it. As Taker stands up, Taker moves towards him, and Shane suckers him in, chopping him face first into the steps with a DDT. Shane with a 2 count. Shane stands one on the half of the steel steps and hits an elbow for a 2 count in the ring. Taker sits up beside Shane on the mat. They trade shots and Taker locks him in Hell's Gate submission. Shane fights out and won't give up, but he starts fading. He slips out and applies a leg submission. Ankle lock. Shane turns it into a sharpshooter in the middle of the cell. Taker kicks out of the hold and sends Shane into the mat. Taker barely sits up in the corner as Shane pounds on him. Shane barely has anything left like Taker. He goes under the ring and brings the trash can in. Shane stomps away on it. On Taker in the corner, Shane places the trash can on top of Taker and goes and does the coast to coast, covers for a 2 count. As the fans chant, "You still got it at him." This was better than his top rope elbow drop from Raw. Shane goes under the ring and has bolt cutters as he's cutting the steel cage open since it's locked with a gate. Taker comes over and they brawl, trading shots on the floor. It's real loose. It's just laying there. Taker comes over and they crash through the steel fence cage. The panel falls on top of the German announce table. Fan chant, "This is awesome." Taker cuts his own throat, goes to pick up Shane. He scoops Shane for a tombstone, but Shane slides out and applies a sleeper hold on top of the platform. Taker starts fading, but stands back up and jumps off the platform, crashing Shane and himself through the Spanish announce table. Taker takes himself up on top of Shane, but it looks like Shane is getting up first. Shane crawls over to a toolbox and nails Taker with it in his face. Taker gets up and Shane nails him with a toolbox again. This time it opens and all the tools are emptied out. Taker falls on top of the announce table as Shane sits on the floor for a breather. We see where Taker is, and crowd starts popping. Shane also sees what's up and gets to his feet. Shane decks Taker with a monitor, and he's laid out on top of the announce table. Shane starts climbing the cell, goes on top. "Please don't jump," as the fans are chanting. He lays the Undertaker flat, climbs on top of the steel cage and jumps through it. Taker moves out of the way. Shane makes it to his feet. Taker also gets up. Shane tells him to bring it. Taker scoops him for a tombstone. Taker brings it back in the ring. Shane ends up on his knees and Taker grabs his face. Then look at the tombstone pile driver for the win. After the match, as music plays, one of Shane's sons is ringside looking concerned. We go to replays. Lights go out and Taker heads up the ramp. Referees are checking on Shane in the ring. Taker stops and looks back, smirking as it looks like. Medical officials have made their way down to ringside. Lights come up, and we get more replays as they tend to Shane. Fans cheer Shane on. He's loaded up onto a stretcher, and placed on the back of a medical cart. They drive Shane up the ramp as the fans cheer him as the announcers play up the seriousness of the situation. Shane gives a thumbs up to the crowd as they pop. Coleslaw takes us back to the panel for a recap. What was mainly advertised for the pre-show, the Battle Royal. Memorial Battle Royal. Here's your entrance. Here's your competitors, I should say. Damian Sandow, Victor, Connor, Fandango, Adam Rose, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, Heath Slater, R-Truth, Goldust, Darren Young, Tyler Breeze, Jack Swagger. Mark Henry was removed and then put back in today. Baron Corbin, also Kane was in the match as well. Baron Corbin was announced for the match from NXT. Tatanka from WWE Legends entered the match. And the final competitor coming to the ring, 7 foot tall Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq and Big Show face to face. We get the bell. Kane grabs them both by the throat. Shaq and Show double choke slam Kane. Superstars gang up on Shaq and Show in separate corners. They get pushed off and many of them go under the rope to the floor. Show and Shaq face off again. Fandango comes in and dances in front of them. Show eliminates him. Sandow comes up to them, but Shaq tosses him out to booze. Shaq and Show face off again. They grab each other by the throat. Again, and struggle. Everyone else comes in and tries to get them out. Shaq falls first, and then Big Show follows up afterwards. So they're both eliminated. Everyone goes at it now. DDP working on Tatanka. Kane drops Goldust. Tatanka drops Young. DDP fights Kane off. Goldust works on eliminating Corbin. DDP ended up hitting a diamond cutter on Victor and eliminated him. Connor and Tatanka work over DDP. And DDP dropped Tatanka. Connor blocked the diamond cutter and sent the DDP to the apron. Connor then eliminated DDP to booze. Golden Truth eliminated Connor. Tatanka and Rose went at it. Tatanka rallied and unloaded on Adam Rose. Tatanka goes up top for a big shot. Corbin worked on Slater. Corbin eliminated Tatanka. Kane eliminated Swagger. Axel unloaded on Kane in the corner. Rose worked on Corbin. So you got all social outcasts looking to take control and get a pop for the crowd. Truth unloaded and dances at Axel. Then they get his big spin kick. Axel and Rose come from behind to eliminate R-Truth. Goldust then attacked them, but the Outcast beat him down. Goldust fights them both, but gets them eliminated. Outcast stand tall for a run victory in a lap until Kane stops them, and then they turn the other way. Corbin stops them as he's just as about tall as Kane is. Kane and Corbin both unload on the Outcast. Kane eliminated Axel. Corbin eliminated Adam Rose with a big right hand. Kane chokeslammed Corbin. Henry come in from the floor and eliminated Slater. Breeze snuck in and nailed Henry from behind. Henry eliminated Breeze. Kane decked Henry and they go at it. Kane and Young eliminated Henry. Kane eliminated Young. Kane thought he won, but the end came when Corbin come from behind and just scooped him out of the ring. So Baron Corbin is your Andre Giant Battle Royal winner. After the match, Corbin still stands tall along with the Andre the Giant trophy statue with the pose. And we get the Rock announcement. Next, Rock comes out. He has a flamethrower. He shoots it in the air. It goes about 15 feet in the air as his music plays. He stops and lights up letters spelling his name. Finally, he makes his way to the ring and stops to flirt with a cheerleader. It's a white cheerleader. The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders that Lillian Garcia introduced just seconds right before The Rock came out. He talked about being on fire in his entrance. Cowboy cheerleaders and the crowd. He says, we see a lot of happy people and a lot of smiling.